It's something that I've always asked myself, why is everybody so interested in Jackson? And why has Jackson been in your team for this long? And lastly, will he be in your team for game week 6? Thank you, chaps.
All I'm gonna say is that Jackson train is over. So yeah. It was basically like an experiment to see how Chelsea would fare, and clearly they failed miserably. So yeah, I will not be hopping on that Chelsea train anytime soon. In fact, in terms of my transfer plans, yes, you'll be the first guy out of my team. I'm looking at, in fact, also possibly getting rid of the other Chelsea player in my team, Chilwell. So yeah, those are my plans regarding my Chelsea players.
You say you are thinking of getting rid of 2 players. Does this mean you have 2 transfers? And defensively, who do you think are the best assets to go for?
Yeah, so I currently have 2 free transfers. At the moment, I'm looking at Newcastle. Yeah, I think they're the only ones at the moment. I haven't fully looked at the schedules, or the fixtures rather, to see which teams I can attack, or which teams rather would get more clean sheets. As that's the goal when I look at defenders. I always look for teams that can primarily get me clean sheets rather than actual assists or goals. So if I can find a team that will get clean sheets from the next couple of fixtures, then those are the type of players or players from those teams that I'll be looking at.
A lot of people have been asking in terms of the Man United assets. And I see you still got Bruno Fernandez in your team, coming in at a whopping 8.4 million. Are you planning to keep him, or what's your take in terms of just having Man United assets, looking at the round of fixtures that they've got, and in terms of the team chemistry and how they're playing at the moment?
Yeah, look, with Man United, it's a bit tricky because you know they are on a poor run of form. I mean, you know, they've lost 2 games in a row. One to Arsenal, and then now to Brighton. Let's be honest; those 2 are, you know, clearly better teams than Man United. You know, but all the other games that they played during the season, you know, it's either they lost narrowly or, you know, they just won. So yeah, at the moment, I'm looking to keep Bruno, right? Because the next game is with Burnley away. So yeah, I'm looking to keep him for that game, just because it's Burnley, and at the moment Burnley are the whipping boys, so it's just literally just for that. After that, I think they've got Crystal Palace, if I'm not mistaken. That will be a tough game for them, and then after that they've got Brentford. So look, at the moment I'm only keeping Bruno for Burnley. I'll see what I'll do with him after that. But yeah, other than that, my advice to everybody out there, just stick with one Man United player. Don't even bother looking into getting more Man United players at the moment.
Since you are thinking of getting rid of Bruno, I think mentioning another underperforming player in your team looks like Odegaard. We've only really returned from a penalty which he was granted by Saka, the original penalty taker. Are you thinking of freeing up money and being one of those people who will bring in Mo Salah? And what do you think about the main question about Salah, about having him or having a balanced team. Yeah.
Yeah, look, with Odegaard, I'm still going to keep for now. I think the fixtures coming up are not that bad. You know what? With Odegaard, I actually feel he's like more of a big game player. I feel like he's going to show up with the Spurs game. So, yeah, I'm going to keep him for the next couple of fixtures. In terms of the second part of your question, in terms of having balance, maybe possibly adding Salah into the mix. At the moment, I don't think, for me, it's a good idea. I'm more one of those managers that prefers having a more balanced squad. You know, adding Salah into this team will highly imbalance the team. Yes, Salah at the moment is probably the most consistent points scorer in FPL at the moment. If I'm not mistaken, I think the last 10 game weeks, he's had a return in every single game. So, but even that, for me, I prefer having a more balanced team. Having Salah in the team would seriously imbalance it because then I would have Haaland and Salah, which then means the rest of my squad, I'll probably have weaker players. And, you know, having such a squad is a bit of a risk, you know, because then that limits you in terms of should one of your other, you know, cheaper players have injuries, you know, then you literally sort of like down a man. You literally like you got a red card, you know. So for me, it's I don't like going to having too high profile players like that. I prefer it balanced like this, where I can spread more of my money around, you know, with more medium cost players like what I'm having at the moment. So yeah.
Cool. Thank you for that, man. I got one last question for you. There are a lot of people in the community thinking about taking a hit after having this bad game week. And what are your views on taking a hit? Do you think that people should rather go for the wild card or take a hit to try and restructure the team? And if they're taking a hit, then yeah, what is the maximum amount?
Yeah, look, I mean, in terms of my personal view, right, when it comes to hits, I do it when I take calculated risks, you know, when I can, for certain, you know, say, you know what, I'm going to take hits with these type of players because I know definitely I can get points with these guys, you know, or more points than the amount of hits that I'm taking. You know what I mean? So if I'm taking a -4 hits, then I should make sure that the person or that extra person that I'm bringing in is going to give me more than that, you know? Yeah, so I'm that type of manager who does take hits every now and again. In fact, maybe possibly this week, I might take a hit. So yeah, just be on the lookout for that. But look, for me, for all the other managers, I would say it depends on you whether or not you like taking hits or not. Remember, taking a hit obviously reduces your overall points because obviously it's -4 every hit you take. So if you're really thinking about taking a wild card, I think for me, taking a wild card is like, you know, it's when you really, really have to do serious major changes to your squad, not just your team, but your squad, you know. Look, for those managers thinking of doing the wild card now, for me, I think it's a bad idea. You know, I feel it would be reactionary, probably because, you know, everybody had such a bad game week. Now that you should start thinking about taking, you know, the wild card now. You know, I think it's still a bit early for now. Maybe wait till later on in a couple of game weeks I keep hearing that game week 8, 9, or 10 might be a good time. Have a look into that, see if it works for you or not. But look, at the end of the day, you're the manager, it's your team. If you feel like you can deal with taking that wild card now and take that risk, and for the rest of the next coming weeks or months of not having that wild card available for you, then go ahead. Because remember, the next wild card is only coming up in January. So if you want to take that chance, then you can take it. But for me at the moment, no.
Thank you very much, Chaps.